formally start this. My name is Gain, and today is our part 4 of our blockchain series. We're going to be exploring the future of on-chain. This is brought to you by Empeer 10. We're joined by two guest speakers, and I will start talking about the agenda shortly. The agenda for today is discussing on-chain applications which involve oracles, RWAs, also known as real-world assets, DePIN, which is decentralized physical infrastructure network, the key terminologies, a demo of Demo, how you bring off-chain data onto the on-chain, React and Third Web, and a hands-on demonstration that will be probably by Ahmed. Um, Without further ado, I will introduce our first guest speaker. Most of you will already be aware of him by now, but Joseph Lewis, he's a cloud and Web3 architect. He has been working with Accenture for I think, more or less 15 years now. He's the founder of Skylark Nova. He's an educator and mentor in Web3 and our educator here at MPADN. Joe loves F1 and basketball, and he has a knack for video games and anime. So, Joe, I'll let you take it away from here.
Sure thing, Guyan. I'll go ahead and also share my screen as well. So, good afternoon, everyone, or a good day, depending on where you are in the world. So let me share my screen real quick. While I'm doing that, I'm just going to also re-echo that I'm the founder of Skylark. Skylark is an on-chain engagement platform for brands, communities, creators to build gamified quest. And a lot of the people that your instructors that are on this call have been very instrumental in the development of Skylark. So working together with the Empeer fan community has been a great experience over the last couple of years. So we're going to jump in here to the education piece for today, right? This is part one of the future of on-chain. So let's hop into it. As Guyan mentioned, we're going to start off by talking about oracles, the whole space of oracles, RWAs, and DePIN, decentralized infrastructure, physical infrastructure networks. But first, let's talk about some key terminologies, right? Proof of coverage, right? So think about this as the ability to map the entire world, right? So in order for networks to be certain technologies like IoT, in the Internet of Things, right? Having the ability for your refrigerator to talk to your phone and have your phone get the latest updates on what's in your fridge, have your phone talk to your house, and your house knows what time to turn on different things to get the optimal Internet of Things network where your car talks to the traffic lights. This happens by getting full coverage, right? So having proof of coverage leads to that. And then edge devices are hardware components that are located at the edge of the network that help supply these uh, uh, network capabilities to be able to enable these DePIN solutions, right? Now also good, same thing goes for mesh networks, right? They are decentralized communication networks where devices can connect to one another in uh, in a decentralized manner, therefore allowing for internet to be shared, but also uh, when you can leverage uh, different subnets of net of data of internet connectivity, you can also build a node as well. So all of this, that's mostly where those three terms are mostly related to DePIN. But then when it comes to oracles, right? Real world data integration is key. Oracles are services that bridge blockchain systems with off-chain real world data. So that's going to allow for smart contracts to tokenize real world assets by having that integration of real world data, right? Things that describe your house, things that describe the weather. These are things that are typically locked in a Web2 server today, but in the future can be queried and inform transactions on the blockchain. So I kind of just mentioned this off-chain data feeds, right? These are the off-chain data feeds that are allowed, they are external data streams that allow for oracles to be able to provide blockchain with those data, right? So market prices is a very good example, right? If the blockchain can get access to market prices, weather data, certain on-chain activities can take place with more ease. Hence, also the need for data aggregation to combine all that data from separate entities and be able to feed it back into the blockchain. Last one here is cross-chain interoperability, which is also known as CCI. And one of the players that we're going to talk about today uh, is known for CCI compatibility. And this is the ability for oracles to transmit data between different blockchain networks. So interoperability is important in this space, having different blockchains be able to talk to one another, in addition to having external data be able to support blockchain is very key. And we're going to get into some projects that are doing that. And this is why oracles are super important. So we talked about that. Let's get into the overview. On-chain data, right? This is data that's stored on the blockchain. Metadata, smart contract data, wallet data, right? Um, you have off-chain data as well that is data that is stored uh, off-chain, right? Like your typical today, if you look at this image here, images, art, real estate, carbon credit, stocks, your general Web2 assets today, right? Their value and their ability to be tokenized is not on chain. And that's where the opportunity lies, right? So querying data and sorting data on chain can be expensive, right? So it's important to recognize that bringing all of this data on chain can be expensive, which is why oracles are more important because we only need this data on demand to then impact the global trade on the blockchain, right? So oracles can bring the data on chain or allow it to influence transactions for decision making. So why is this important? I mentioned already because it supports the on-chain transactions, right? It ensures that we have efficient communication across different financial networks as the space looks as the world looks to go on chain into the future. Not only that, imagine having a project or a token that's based around the price of real world assets. So being able to monetize your, for example, if you own a home and you have liquidity uh, or equity in your house, right, that you would like to monetize, you could create a token that could make that uh, equity liquid, right? And that liquid entity would need the off-chain data to make sure that the accuracy of that equity is, uh, while it's on chain, is accurate, right? Same thing with stocks and bonds. Stocks and bonds here in the US, they don't trade 24/7. So if you want to enable a 24/7 stock market that's on chain, you need to have accurate uh, stock prices that are fed into the on-chain platforms. So some more important things is obviously being able to make this immutable, which is a key thing that we've talked about before when it comes to the blockchain. And in some areas, this is very important, right? You have stuff like voting, right? That's often all across the world tampered with. People are concerned about votes being rewritten, and that's real world data, right? And if that can be bought on chain via oracles, that makes that helps for it to be immutable, right? Stuff like that is very important because a lot of money is spent ensuring the security of these data points. So with oracles and with the blockchain, there's an opportunity for overall cost savings. So in this space, right, of oracles, RWAs, there's a key players as I mentioned earlier. Ondo Finance, right, which is this one here. They are specializing in real world assets. Uh, Avalanche is a blockchain that also specializes in a number of things, including the tokenization of real world assets. They're good foundation for that. Chainlink is an oracle, right? I mentioned the oracle and the definition. Chainlink is one of the key players that leverages CCIP, which is cross-chain interoperability protocol. And then lastly, or Ethereum, right? Because of the smart contracts, right? NFTs, which allow for certain type of assets to be tokenized, right? Like your home, right? That is important for this space as well. And lastly, Axelar, which is another competitor to Chainlink in the terms of Oracle space. Do we have a question? What's the process of converting Web2 assets into Web3? So is a good, thanks, a good question. It depends on the asset, right? Something like um, I have a friend that was building a company. It was called Real Estate AI, right? And data from the MLS, which is here in the United States. MLS is the market data for homes all across the country. And those MLS feeds, right, can be integrated into a platform, and then the data can be tokenized via smart contracts on chain. So basically, it's a matter of integration and time stamping data into smart contracts, then that allows it to be converted, right? And then the cadence by which that is done, how often that is done, is what helps also build the accuracy. So it could be as simple as that, but it could be very complex, especially in terms of, uh, financial systems. Yes, smart contracts can be protocols, and they're also pieces of code. So moving on, uh, let's talk more about Chainlink. Chainlink, I mentioned, is one of the oracles, right? They provide decentralized oracle system, provide decentralized oracle technology, and the technology that fetches data from APIs, websites, IoT devices, and delivers them to smart contracts. So that's kind of what I just described, how the data from Web2 spaces can be tokenized into a smart contract, and Chainlink is one of the players that helps support that. So it's important to have this, and some of the ways that the things that they do to help this is they also use for data verification, right? And data delivery. So oracles not only provide data, but also verify its authenticity, right? This is crucial for ensuring that the data fed into smart contracts is accurate and not tampered. And then once the data is delivered, the Oracle delivers it to the smart contract, and it triggers execution and thereby verifying that this action has been completed and the data has been received. So oracles are important, right? They're one side of the puzzle that helps RWAs, real world assets, come on chain, right? But another way of collecting real world data, right, that can also lead to the mapping of assets on chain and real world assets on chain is through DePIN, right? So while oracles facilitate the usage of off-chain data on chain, right? Meaning that while oracles query for data off chain and bring it on chain so the blockchain can be more productive, DePIN networks incentivize communities to maintain physical data networks. So almost the other way around, right? So for example, uh, cloud storage is a physical data network, right? We need that to keep running so you can incentivize people to run uh, their own cloud servers locally, right? And by doing so, physical data is being created, and that physical data can then help power the ability to bring more real world scenarios to the blockchain. So, for example, I mentioned earlier uh, about your car being able to talk to the street lights, right? We're going to talk about one project that is looking to accomplish this. And these are deepened projects. They're about making the world mapped so you can have the ability for devices to talk to one another across the blockchain, right? So devices can talk to one another across the blockchain via DePIN and via oracles. Off-chain data can influence on-chain activity. So other networks for DePIN include uh, wireless mobility. We're going to talk about that, and energy as well. So imagine being able to, uh, if you have solar panels on your rooftop and you're earning additional yield or capital because you can tokenize the extra electricity that you're not using that month and sell it to somebody else. And you're contributing energy to your house as well. So that whole, again, decentralization of physical infrastructure. So some key companies to consider here: Render, their decentralized compute, right? It's important that compute is becoming very competitive across the AI space, and centralized entities having all the compute is not a good thing. So when you can have the decentralization of compute, that allows for smaller players to get access to compute to build out great things as well. File is a decentralized cloud storage. Hive Mapper is one of the ones that's focused on building out the world. And Helium is also focused on building out the world, but via wireless mobility and Demo. We're going to talk about Helium and Demo. Uh, Demo is more around building out the world, but via your car. And BitTensor is also an AI computing power decentralized DePIN project. So before we wrap up today on my end, we're going to talk about two projects, Demo and Helium. So let's jump over here to Demo. Demo is pretty interesting. Their goal is to make every car on Earth smart and programmable. Demo is the first open and secure mobility platform in the world, powering the next generation of connected car applications and services. So imagine that you can put a device in your car are if the car manufacturers start partnering Demo, and the device gets built into the car, and that device is able to map your journey, talk to the streetlights, make sure that apps on your car are personalized for your needs, right? This is this can be enabled via Demo via the blockchain, right? So even another great use case would be that if you have an electric car and you could have an agent, an AI agent that is on chain, and you have funds in another wallet, it's able to pull those funds. And when you plug your car into a charging zone, it automatically starts paying for, or even prepays. It talks to the nearest charging station and prepays, reserves your spot, and prepays for you to then just drive in and start getting your charge ready. So these are the type of cool um, things that you can think about when you have a car, which at least here in the United States, a lot of people spend a lot of time in their car. I know I spend a lot of time in my car, and having my car be able to talk to things, and uh even people who drive trucks, they can have, just like Tesla has mapped out the entire world, Demo can contribute to that as well. So you can see here, it's a growing network of drivers. You can see where some of those drivers heavily here in the United States, some over here in the European areas, and their stack right now, they recently just are launching on Base. So they're launching on a layer 2 base blockchain. And I actually listened in on their conversation this week on X when they were talking, and they're going to be looking for developers to build on their stack, on their SDK, right? And building on their SDK, you could be able to have apps that show up in the Demo app store, right? So now imagine your apps being in the car of someone driving and being on chain. So Demo, they use the Demo token. That's the token that people earn for uh having Demo running while they're driving. The next one we're going to talk about is Helium. So Helium takes what we all do, which is use the internet, right? Everybody who has a router at home or carries around a hotspot, uh, there you can earn for sharing that hotspot data with the Helium network, which then allows for Helium to map out the world via hotspots. And not only that, you can share your hotspot internet with others as well as yourself. So you're basically earning for using the internet, right? So you can come here, you can get a Helium router, and you can see how much of the world has already been mapped here. So let's check it out. Uh, you can see here, let's go to Pakistan. We got one here, right? I don't know if that's one, but we got one like dot. That means we have some motions there. We got a lot of mapped areas out here in the European area, as well as here in the United States and Eastern Asia, China. Uh, so you can see that, much like Demo, right? These coverage, like I mentioned earlier, the goal is coverage, right? They want to cover uh the companies that can cover most of the earth can then be able to enable more interoperable scenarios where companies could leverage the Helium network to talk, have their devices talk to one another, whether it may be in and outside of your house or all the way across the world. So that concludes my points today. Uh, unless we have any additional questions, I'm going to pass it
We got
off
one.
to. Oh, you got one? Okay.
Yeah, Akbar's asking, we are doing our semester project. How can we convince traditional infrastructure providers to integrate with Deepin? Because it's a big move, obviously, something that people are not aware of. So, what would be the stronger points that we could tell folks about?
So I would start with a couple of things. One, with making it relatable, right? I showcased the Helium router. That's something that a lot of people can relate to, which is just being able to leverage the internet uh, and via a router. Once they can see that, in my opinion, once people can see that they can leverage everyday tools to engage in deep in networks, then you can start having conversations around transforming traditional infrastructure into these deep in networks, right? So that I think that's step one is making people comfortable with the technology, and then stuff like Filecoin, right, which is around decentralized storage, which is another deepen project. If people are scared or hesitant to utilize platforms like Filecoin, right, you can again demo it to showcase the value of the decentralized networks that can allow people to store files versus have examples of how centralized entities like Instagram, when they go down, right, you lose access to your files and your online data really pretty much when that happens. So I would say have examples to test and showcase uh, this DPIN, and then that will help convince them through examples. We can converge in Web 2 to what the extra functionality we are achieving by moving our infrastructure to DPIN. So we can, I guess what you're saying is we can get coverage in Web 2. Yes,
In
we
essence,
can.
Web 2 is getting the job done as well. Why move? Why go through that hassle? I think
Yes.
that's the question.
Yeah. So in essence, it's about incentive, right? A lot of these companies that can do the coverage today are centralized entities, and centralized entities that can do it are more subject to control of one power, right? So, and it also slows down things, right? When you have a decentralized, competitive, more model, these type of things can get done quicker and more diverse. So if there's no more questions, I can always answer questions afterwards at the end. But I'm gonna go ahead and pass it back to Gain, and he'll introduce Ahmed.
So, thank you for that, Joe. I hope you guys enjoyed the demo on um Helium and Demo. I personally, me and Aram, we were just talking about this as well while you were talking about it. Um, the Helium is a very cool thing. The folks that use Uber a lot, or they drive Ubers, or other cab services, I think Helium would be great. They can just make extra bucks just by doing what they normally do. with an additional add-on that you just get started with in the start, and you let the device do the rest of the thing. But any which ways, um, I will jump to the next slides. Apologies. So our next guest speaker is Muhammad Ahmed. He's a tech evangelist. He's a full stack engineer at TechRow Digital. He's a mentor in the Empeer Den community. He is a master of EVM and Hyperledger Fabric. He has spent a lot of time on Hyperledger Fabric, infrastructure and emerging technologies. Ahmed loves basketball and football, and just like Joe, Ahmed is also a fan of video games and anime. Ahmed, I will let you take it from here, and I believe you would be talking a bit. I don't know why my screen jumped to question answers, but hopefully we can get that fixed. Ahmed?
Yeah, thank you so much, Gain, for the introduction. So, and thank you, Joe, for the insights on the future of on-chain technology. So, it's been like very aspiring. I will add on one thing to the on-chain technologies as well, that we talked about the Internet of Things. So, as we grow, as the infrastructure grows, as everything grows, security becomes like an crucial point. So I guess the blockchain would also be like an incentive for those who want to keep things decentralized, not have a single entity have control over their things, and be like the transparency of blockchain. So I guess that would be a huge incentive. So today, let me share my screen. So we will be starting off where Joe left off last time. I hope you can see my screen. So in last webinar, Joe showed you how to create deploy a smart contract using third web, and today we will also be doing the same thing. But as Joe showed you how to use an iframe to integrate that contract or something, or like marketplace, uh, we will be doing it in a React app. We will creating a React app where you can claim an NFT, or this is similar to like minting or purchasing an NFT, but claiming is a cheap step after the minting process. So let's get started. So for this, I have created an README file. This will also be shared in the group as well. You can follow the instructions over here, and we can go from this to the next. So uh, before we start, there's a bonus thing. I discovered this. I have been looking for Sefolia faucets for a long time. So I discovered this Web3 faucet by Google Cloud. So for those who are like developers are trying to replicate this thing and don't have any funds, so what you can do is that you can create a wallet that we have shown in the first demo, and just copy the address, and in this link, by Google Cloud. You can also do this by searching as well. Let's go to Google Web3 faucet Google Cloud, and I'm on the Sefolia chain. So this one would pop up. So you just have to select the chain and then provide your address, and you will receive 0.05 Sefolia each. So I just tried this uh, on December 13th. So it is giving me that I can only in 24 hours I can only do this once. So you can get 0.05 Sefolia. That would be enough for this demo every 24 hours. So let's get started from the beginning. How to deploy a contract and how to make that contract in a React app. So the first thing we need to do is that once you log in into the third web console, after that you would have this screen. And what we need to do is that first we need to create a project. I'll talk about that. We can even do this without project, but there's a one thing that we need that will be required for the project. Let's create a new project. Let's call this Empeer Den demo, allow domain. Let's for now allow every domains. Now let's proceed. So this has given me a client ID and a secret ID. Okay, so let's me copy this. For now I don't need the secret ID and I will be deleting this project later on. And let's copy the client ID. Client ID. Let's save this over here and complete. So we have created this project. Now what I can do is that I can create a contract within this. So I will go to this contract sections. I have one contract that I have already deployed for testing purpose. I will now deploy another contract. So for the purpose of this, we will be using an NFT drop. NFT drop is just like an NFT that is like minted by the developer or the owner, and those we can set different conditions. Let me open this. We can set different conditions for claiming of this. This will be a collection of unique NFTs, and this is also be using ERC 721A standard. So as Joe talked about the A standard in the previous one, this is like for low cost of gas. There are also references. You can also go through these references to create your own project using this contract. These are some of the functions. We will be using some of the read functions of this and also the write function. But most of the things that nowadays is abstracted by the third web. We can also just like Joe said, he used to inspect the contracts, so we can also inspect the contracts over here. All of those things. Let me show you the 721 contract. Drop ERC 721 contract. So these are the actual solidity code that is written in this contract. You can also audit this yourself by but this has been audited by third web as well. So let's go to deploy this. Let's call this Empeer, then webinar. Let's say, what should we call? NFT drop. Empeer, then NFT drop. Let's call this. So we should call this END. Yeah, Empeer, then NFT drop. So this is a collection of Empeer, then NFTs. So the recipient, we can also set the recipient for those who should receive the sales of this. Let's add my own address. It should have already picked up. I guess I have not connected. If I connect it in my wallet, and it should already pick up my address. So let's call this. Let's call this. This is an Empeer, then NFT drop. So these are the royalties. For now, we are setting royalties to zero, the platform fees to zero. If we want to keep this gasless, I don't want that right now. And the chains that we want to deploy. So currently, I will be deploying to this testnet, Sifolia, because I have just the funds on this testnet. So let's deploy this. Just on the click of this button, the contract is now deploying. It asked me for the signing of this. I don't know if you will be able to see this screen, but on the MetaMask you would see some of the details in which you would have estimated fees, that how much would it cost to deploy, and then when you click on confirm, it will start deploying the contract. And then the next thing is your wallet will be prompted to sign the transaction. For this, this will be just for adding this to your dashboard. So I have seen got a signature over here. Let's click this signature. So I'm signing this. So most probably in a few more seconds, it should go through. Yep. So now the contract is deployed. We can also view this contract. So we have this contract over on this address. We can use Etherscan Folia for this. So this contract has been created. Now there is no any transaction done on this. There aren't any NFTs right now, and you can also see the contract over here as well. Now moving forward, the third web is quite simple. It tells you the steps that you need to do. The first step we need to do is this: go to the NFT tab and upload your NFT. So we can upload a single NFT, or we can upload a batch NFTs. Like we want to upload 100 NFTs in a batch, we can do that using CSVs or JSON file. So for now, for this demo purposes, I will be uploading a single NFT. Hmm, let's call this Empeer number one, Empeer den number one. Let's choose this media, or the first NFT in the collection. Let's call. So NFT is like anything. It's just like a you can say an JSON object or something like that, that provides the information that someone related to this has something. So we can also provide any traits attributes to it, like rarity, or you can say value or something like that. Like you can say also level, that what level of NFT is this. I can say, let's say I give this to 5 level NFT, and we can add multiple traits to this as well. So like if we go to our gamifying anything or something like that, so we can use these attributes to make an NFT unique. So let's mint this NFT. This lazy mint will mean that I as a owner will be minting this, and the user would have to just claim this NFT. Let's wait for its transaction to pop up. Hmm. Let's wait a few minutes. If it doesn't pop up, we will be like refreshing this page. Let's refresh this. And again, Empeer then one. This media. I don't know why it asks for twice. The first one. Let's add the level to 5 and mint this. So okay, the transaction has popped up. Let me sign this. Now it is lazy minting this application, this NFT. I can also view this on Blockscrew as well. You can see this is currently pending. So most of these things are like handled by the layer 2 blockchains, like Base as well. Those are fast, and since it is on Ethereum, so these are a bit slow. So it takes some while. Let's go to this. So we have minted an NFT, and now anyone can claim this NFT. So let's go to that step. So for now, what we need is an app. For that app, we will be creating an app over here. So for this, we will be using the base app from the third web example. So this is just a white app, you can say React app made with white, and with third web SDKs installed. So let's go over here. Oh, I have the git clone already written. So we have created this app. Let me run this. Open with code. First, we need to install the dependencies. I prefer Yarn, so let's install using Yarn. Are there any questions so far? So with this NFT view table, out of which price of the NFT will be determined. Yep. So yes, this NFT will be tradable. You can also see this NFT on the OpenSea as well or any other marketplace. And the price will be decided by us. First, we will be, setting the price in the next step. We will be setting, okay, only this person and this one can access this. So that will be a phase in the claim. I will be showing you that as well. So we have installed this npm run dev. I have the website open. So this is the base website. Now what you can see is that we are not able to see anything. So this is why we created a project, because if we go into the console, you see uh, uncaught error, client ID or secret key must be provided. So that's why it's not loading the page. So for this, we have already saved a client ID over here. So we can copy this, go to this app, and if we go to uh, over here, let's see client. So it's asking for this white template client ID. Okay, this is already written in the documentation as well. You need to go to create a env file and add this. So let's copy this over here, create an env file .env, and let's add this. And in this I will be copying my client ID in this. So you ask, why do we need client ID? So because we need to interact with the blockchain to get the data. So let me open the paint as well. Let's open eraser.io. Let me go this way. Sorry for this, guys. Let's skip this for now. Let's skip this canvas. Yeah. So let's say these are some of our nodes. These are our blockchain nodes that are connected to each other. Mm. So this is, let's say, this is our client, or you can say our browser. So for this we need to uh, this browser needs to talk to any of these nodes. So for that we cannot directly connect to this. We need to have some node that allows us for any access to this node. So for that we call an rpc. Rpc is just a server uh, which is connected to the blockchain and provides an api to connect to this. So let's say this is third web RPC. This is a node that is hosted by third web. So what we do is that we connect with this. They have provided us a client ID. With the client ID, with that client ID, we provide the client ID to this, and we can, mm, they provide us with the with the APIs, or you can say endpoints, that we can connect with this blockchain. So that is why we created this project over here on the blockchain, no, on the third web, because each of this project will allow us to have our interactions with the contracts and everything. You can also get the client ID from here as well, this one. So let's paste this over here. I already pasted this, and our app is now working. So basically, if we disconnect, this is the base app that is provided by third web. So now we will be just modifying this a bit. So for this, if we move to the app.tsx, we don't need, we need the header, we don't need the third web resources. Let's remove this. Okay, let's remove this function as well, remove the clutter, and this as well. So now app is more clean. So let's say we, in the header, we want to add uh, instead of third web SDK plus white, instead of, we can say Empeer then. So this is so far what we have covered also in the previous as well. So what we are going to do right now is we need to have some sort of interaction with the contract. So for this, let's move to the documentation again as well. What we need first is we need to get the contract. And okay, get the contract that we are using. So we can copy this contract, that is get contract method. You can say this get contract method. We provide this the client and the chain ID. So let's move this, go to this. So let's say we want to get the contract. So the get contract is imported from the third web, and chain. Now we have to also get the chain on this, on which this contract is working. Because each chain is a different blockchain, we need to provide, okay, look for this address on this chain and use this client, the client that is created from third web, this client using this ID over here, using this client ID, connect with this blockchain. So let's create the chain. Chain is equal define chain. Define chain is also method from third web. We will provide it a number. We have the number over here. Let's say what's the number is. Okay, we can also use this from the number from this server here as well. So let's import the chain, or you can provide this any number. This number you can also see over here, this one. Let's profile so fill your chain. So this chain is provided to over here. Now we need to just give the address. So let's go to this. Let's go to contracts. Our latest deployed one is this. So currently we have not done this third step. I will go to this over here after this so that I can show you an error. So let's copy this address. Let's get this. And if we just for our purposes log this contract, what do we get with this contract? Contract and this contract. Let's close this. And move to this. So in the contract, we got all of those three things. So this is the chain and everything. Now what we need to do is that we need to call some method of this contract. We need to get some of the metadata, you can say, for this contract. Okay, okay, what is this contract? How does this contract looks like? So for that, we can again go to the documentation. So we have this hook by the third web that allows us to read any contract, to perform, just like I mentioned earlier, to perform some of those actions that are like the read and the write actions. Yeah, the read and the write actions. So we want to do the read action, and for the read action, what we want to is we want to get the contract metadata. So we'll be copying this. Okay, so we need to import the read contract, and from the contract metadata, this is a method that we will be importing from the commons library, you can say this. So there are like a lot of methods. I can also show you the documentation where we get this. If we search for you know the TypeScript references, so for this you can get the all of the references for the SDK as well. These are some of the core functions. In that we have extensions for the common methods. The common methods are like that will be on every contract, like the contract metadata. And there are also like specific methods. If we go to the ERC 721, there are specific methods like claim to, or uh, we can set get the NFTs or something like that. So all of these methods are also available. We will using this get total claim supply as well. So let's go to this. uh, our code was over here. So let's print this data. So if you're new to TypeScript or something, it's just like this, like you can say data, and this is data dot, you can say this is result, and you can say this is result dot data, just something like that. So this is just the shorthand for that. We are just destructuring this on this variable. So let's go to this. So now you can see we have the contract metadata, that the name of the contract is this, the symbol is this, and the description is this. So we have some of the data from here which we can use for these things. That So let's build that up. For that we will be not diving into how to build the app, designing the app, because that is TypeScript. I think most of you would know about this. So let's just start building this. So we will add a container for this, and after adding the container, we will see if the metadata is loading. We will be loading that, or else we will be displaying that over here. So this media renderer is also a an component provided by third web. This could be used for displaying the IPFS URI as well. Uh, I will talk just a little bit about IPFS. IPFS is also a blockchain, you can say, on which we use to store data instead of, we can store images or anything instead of just like the contracts or something like that. So this is for the storage, you can say blockchain on storage. So we will be using that and provide the client and the image from our contract metadata, and we will have our name and the description as well. Let's save this. So let's see if we are on the, yeah. So we have got the Empeer and NFT drop. This is the NFT drop. Uh, this is the description of that. So before that, we are not seeing any image. Let's debug that. If you go to this, we are not seeing any image over here. So let's see if we edit that image while creating this. So I guess while creating the contract, we did not submit an image. So I can also show you how that was created. Let me go to contracts, deploy contract. So we need to also add image over here. When we add image over here, that image would be shown on the contract metadata as well. We are talking about the contract metadata. So if we have the time, we will also like in the end see if we can update that image on that contract metadata. So for now, let's quickly move on. We have the contract metadata. What else we need? We need to get the supply of how much NFTs are there. So for that, there's also methods to get the supply. We can just get is you can set claim supply, how much we have claimed, and as well as the next token. So we will also get this, as I told you, from the extensions and the ERC 720 ERC 721, the NFT contract, and this is get total supply. So if we have the claim supply, let's copy the content for this as well. If we have the claim supply, let's put this after this one. Now we don't have the total supply loading because we haven't get the that as well. So let's get the total supply as well. So to get the total supply, we just get the next token to mint, and that will be shown because each token is like the number one token, 1 2 3 4. It is in always in the numbered form. So we can get the next token to mint. That will be okay. So this is the total supply for that. Sorry, I have pasted this over here. It should be from the ERC 721. So we can say that this is our total supply. So let's move to our app. So we have a total supply of 1, and we haven't claimed any token. Another thing that we can do is that we need to create a button for claiming this NFT. So third web has simplified this a lot by just providing us a component, this transaction component. So what this transaction component, let me copy this and show you this. This transaction button component is imported from third web, and it just needs a transaction that okay, on this transaction run this function, this claim to function, and in this claim to function we will be providing these things that claim this is the contract that we want to execute this on. We want to execute with this address, and we want the quantity to be this. And when the transaction is confirmed, we need to set our states as this, like alert if there is an error, get this. And we need to first we need to get the price and get the quantity. So before that, let's we have this address. So get that address. You can say, let me quickly copy this. This is the same as we have discussed in the previous demos. Connect one, get the hook from this will get our address from the third web that we have connected right now. After that, we need to get the price. So let's get the price. So for price, we need to get the claim condition if there is any claim condition. Right now, till now, we haven't added any claim condition. So I will show you what claim conditions are and why there will be an error on this. This is an also from ERC 721. ERC 721. And what we are doing right now is we are taking the quantity of the NFT. Let's say we want to mint one NFT, and then we are getting this price, the one that you are talking about, the in the chat that you were asking, how is the price set? So we will be getting this price from the claim condition, that to claim this how much would be required, and after this price, getting this price from the claim, we will be converting that into big int, and everything in whenever you send any transaction to the you know RPC or blockchain, you need to convert that to ether. So we need to convert this to ether, and now we got the price method. So let's create our quantity use state. Const quantity, set quantity is equal to use state, and let's set one as the default quantity. So we have covered these things. Now what's left is just claim 2. So claim 2, we can also export this from the ERC extension. The app is created. So now before going to anything, it is logged. Let's connect our wallet. So we can also add the wallet as well to just use uh, our chain. Chain should be Sefolia, and we can say wallets, and we can say create wallet. It's importing this from the wrong place. Let me copy this create wallet from this third web wallet, and we can create wallet, and in the wallet we need to provide options that what should the wallet be. So there could be smart wallet, in-app wallet, or something like that. So we will be using MetaMask. So we can either copy this from over here, or you can search this create wallet function in the SDK. Let's write third web. I'm also showing all of these things to you as well, because there are gonna be endless scenarios that you go into. So you would need to get the habit into searching these things to get the documentation. Create wallet, and if we go to this, there is this TypeScript SDK create wallet function, and you can see there we have the MetaMask one, or you can see there are also other Coinbase. So let's go with the MetaMask. Okay. So now our wallet would only connect to Sephora using MetaMask. So let's say I change to Polygon. Okay. So once I connect this, it's automatically opened only MetaMask, and it's asking me to allow this site to switch to the network. It is going to connect to the Sephora network. So I switch the network, and now I am able to connect to this. So now this claim button has been enabled. If I press this claim button, so you see claim condition not found. There isn't any claim condition. So what's the claim condition about? So going to the let's say where is projects, contracts, this one. So we need to claim condition so that the user will be able to claim your drop only if the claim phase is active. So in the claim tab, we can set multiple phases. So I will be going to that question, that how do we mint this? We can mint this to the public, so anyone in during this phase, anyone can mint this, or we can mint only public wallets would have that access. Any wallet to will be able to claim this with special overrides for some addresses. You can say special conditions for allow list that okay, it would be $10 for you can say 10 each for one wallet, public wallets, and for the allow list it would be 5 each, something like that. And then there is like the pre-sales, you can say, where there only the whitelisted wallets are allowed. You can set this from over here, and only the owner would be able to claim that. So let's go with the public phase. We can start the phase right now. Okay, and you can say how much do you want to charge for the NFT. This is the point where we set the price. We can set custom token as well, but for now we are going to set an ETH. Let's say we want to set 0.005. Okay, so we can also set how much you can drop this and how much one wallet can get. So let's say we can in this phase, let's say I have 1,000 NFTs and I only want in this phase I only want to um, allow claiming of 5 NFTs or 10 NFTs. I can set this over here, and we can also set only one wallet can get one NFT or something like that from over here. So let's save this phase. To perform this action, because this will be on change, it will ask me to confirm. Any more questions so far? This client ID was from Third Web SDK. Yep, you can get this. This is from Third Web as an company, and SDK is what we are using for, uh, you know, interacting with the Third Web. I guess the transaction should have gone. Yeah, it is currently active, and this is the price. Limits per wallet is unlimited. NFT drops are unlimited. Now let's try. Go to this page, refresh this. Now you see we have the claim NFT price 0.005. So once we claim, it asks for our transaction has been requested. It wants to execute the method claim, and this is with the estimated fees. So let's confirm this, and you will receive number 01. You can also see that. So currently I have this NFT test Empeer done right now. So let's see what happens when this claims go through. Yeah. So NFT has been claimed. We have received the alert. Now the total supply is also one out of one. We had one NFT and that NFT has been claimed. So if we go to this our NFT sections, I guess it has not refreshed. Okay, now it has refreshed. Now we can see the MPA and NFT drop is also over here. You can open this. We can see the contract address. The token ID is 0 that I also talked about. This would also be numeric and grows from 1 to above, 0 to above, sorry. And the one that you were talking about, we can trade this NFT. Yep, absolutely. You can trade this NFT. You can copy this contract, or let's go to OpenSea. I always forget the spelling of this. Seafolia. Seafolia testnet. So if we put this contract, you can see this is the NFT. This is the Empeer and number one NFT. I can go over there. Let me log in as well. So you can see this is an NFT that is owned by me. So I can also sell this NFT list for sale. I can sell this on the OpenSea as well. I can set any amount I want to sell. Let's say I want to set for zero point 0.1 needs. I minted this for very little and I want to send this for zero point 0.1 needs. I want to duration to be any custom. Let's say I want this listing to be from this date to this date for 1 month. And there's also like specific options. All of these is like OpenSea standard procedure of selling and listing an NFT. So OpenSea will also take 2.5% cut from that, and I can list this. Now approve the NFT. For whenever you want to list an NFT on any of the, you can say, uh, platform marketplace, you need to approve that NFT for that marketplace to sell, uh, so that the marketplace could sell that NFT on your behalf. So now this has been listed. If we go to the listing, you can see this is owned by me. I have set this price as zero point 0.1 each, and anyone can go to this and buy this NFT. And for the attributes, you can also see this is the attribute that I have talked about. You can see these attributes over here. You can see the NFT contact details over here as well. So all of these things are also available that's the actual the fun part of blockchain, that you can you are not limited to one platform. You are not limited to OpenSea. You are not limited to your own website. Once you have done the action on blockchain, it could be used anywhere, and uh, anyone can purchase that NFT or uh, perform actions on that. So if we I can also show you, let me just a quick to wrap it up, sorry. We will be going to the contract, and let's read from the contract. I want to get the, let's see, I want to get the owner of a token ID. So my contract address is 0x57 0x5f7. So let's query this. I have the only one NFT, token ID 0. Let's query this. So anyone on the internet can see that, okay, this NFT belongs to this person. So the concept of NFT is just like this, that okay, that piece of data belongs to this address. That's the gist of this NFTs. So if you have any questions more, let's wrap it up. So okay, that would be everything from my end. Over to you, Hein.
Alrighty, thank you for that, Ahmed. Again, a very practical implementation, and I hope some of you, if not all of you, were following Ahmed, taking notes. And I completely understand that this information is a lot to take in. Obviously, all of these sessions are recorded. And you guys would be having access, and you can find that those recordings on YouTube, and you can slowly learn those at your own pace. Take a look at those at your in your own time. But now's the time for Q&A. If you guys have any questions, please feel free and pop this in the chat. Both of our mentors are still here and they would be more than happy to address those questions. If not now, if later, you can, send those questions in WhatsApp and Discord, whatever works for you. For those who haven't already joined in, please feel free and scan these QR codes. These are to our WhatsApp and Discord. Um, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. If we don't have any questions, then let's just sum it up. Uh, I think, yeah. So our next session is gonna be on 19th of December, 5:30 p.m. PST, 7:30 a.m. EST, and we will be talking about NFT gated Web3 mini projects and the future of trends of on-chain. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. It has been lovely. Ahmed, thank you so much. Joe, thank you once again. You guys have been great. You're sharing knowledge with the folks, helping them learn.